Hi everybody, my name is Dan and welcome to my kitchen for another yummy episode of Man Cake. Today we're gonna do something Mardi Gras themed since it is Fat Tuesday and make a traditional Mardi Gras King's Cake. It's gonna be so yummy. One of my favorite desserts this time of year. All the ingredients we're gonna be using today are gonna be down below in the description along with that subscribe button. So if you click that and ring the bell, you can stay up to date on brand new weekly recipes. Now let's get started on this yummy festive cake. In a large mixing bowl, we're gonna add a 1/4 ounce of active dry yeast and a 1/2 cup of warm water. Now if you have a thermometer, range-wise we're thinking 110 to 115 degrees. This way our active dry yeast can really dissolve in that nice warm water. If you don't have a thermometer, I'd say give it a go in the microwave until it starts boiling. That should be good enough. And once your active yeast is nice and dissolved, we're gonna add in a 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1 stick of softened butter, a 1/2 cup of warm milk. Again, trying to stick to that 110, 115 degrees range. 2 egg yolks at room temperature. 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 2 cups of flour. And then we're just going to beat this with our hand mixer until it's nice and smooth. And then using a little more flour, I like to say a safe range is an additional 1 1/4 cup to 1 3/4 cups of flour until we get a nice soft dough ball. And once you have your nice soft sticky dough ball, we can turn that out to a nice floured surface. And then we'll just want to knead that dough until it's smooth and elastic. About 8 minutes of knead time should do plenty enough. Once that's done, we're going to add that into a lightly greased bowl, flip it over once, grease the top, cover, and let our dough rise for an hour in a nice warm place. So it's been an hour, our dough is risen, it's getting nice and big. Let's go ahead and turn this out to a floured surface again. And roll into a nice rectangle shape. And then in a small bowl, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of white sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we'll just give that a nice little mix. And then sprinkle that on top of our little dough rectangle. Now once your cinnamon sugar is sprinkled on top, we're going to start to roll our rectangle, jelly roll style, making sure to pinch the seam to keep it nice and sealed. Once rolled out, we're going to place this into a greased springform pan. So once you get that in there, you'll want to pinch the 2 ends together to get that ring and cover it and let it sit for another hour to do its dough thing and rise up a bit. So it's been another hour. Our dough has done its chemistry thing. It's nice and good, and it's ready for the oven. So be sure to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And while that's warming up, you want to brush your king's cake with a nice little egg wash. About 1 egg yolk should be enough. And once done, you can pop that in the oven and let that bake for a good 35 minutes. You'll definitely know when it's done though, when it has a nice golden color to it. So our king cake is baked, it's starting to cool a little bit. Now let's go ahead and work on our delicious glaze that's gonna go on top. So in a bowl, we're gonna add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and 3 tablespoons of heavy cream. And then we're just gonna blend these all together until it's nice and smooth. And we have not really a runny consistency, but think of it more like honey, kind of just a slow run to it. Now let's get this yummy glaze on top of our even yummier king's cake. And however you want to glaze your king's cake is completely up to you. At the end of the day, it's going to be delicious 100%. And then using our traditional Mardi Gras colors, our green, purple, and gold, we're going to sprinkle the top of our king's cake. Let's start with a little green. A little purple. And a little gold. And there is our delicious, somewhat pretty much traditional king's cake. And it looks and smells delicious. Just that warm smell of cinnamon and just so ready to dive into this. But I do have to wait. I promised I would make this for a party. But I'll definitely let you know how it turns out in the comments below. And if you make it, definitely let me know what you think. If you haven't had it before, or if you had, if you know more of a traditional way, let me know in those comments, and we can maybe do a king's cake part 2 next year for Mardi Gras. But that's all I have for this week. Don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. And if you make this king's cake, or you have your own king's cake that you make and you follow your own recipe, give a tag on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or any of the places. Until next week, bye.